It's an HD monitor with a built-in webcam. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. This is the ViewSonic VG2440V HD monitor with built-in webcam, and it's pretty cool. It's a 23.8 diagonal screen running at 1920 by 1080, which is a full HD resolution, and it is 250 candela per square meter in terms of brightness, 1000:1 contrast ratio, a relatively slow response time of 5 milliseconds and 60 Hertz refresh rate, and 178-degree viewing angle, so you can turn this a pretty long way in different directions, and it's still a very viewable screen, which is pretty nice. Now, there are a bunch of different connections on the back, including HDMI, DisplayPort, and VGA. And if you want to use the webcam, you have to separately hook it up as a USB device. All of these cables come with it. And then it also has a USB 3.2 hub. Once you get USB from your computer onto the display, there's other USB plugs you can use for other devices as you're so inspired. Has an audio jack, and it includes the audio cable. So really everything you need comes out of the box ready to go. And I just want to say, just for a moment, it has a fantastic out-of-box experience. This seems really weird to say with a display monitor, but it's really, really neat the way they put through the engineering, and it's like putting together a piece of Lego where you open it up and you just have the stand, and then the stand clicks into the screen, and then you lift the whole thing out. It's very neat. And this is a really flexible stand. So you can raise it, you can lower it way down. It has a significant rotation freedom. There's a lot of that you can like here. And the webcam itself has an open-close shutter, but that same control actually gives you 5 degrees of angular freedom to get it to be just so. Speaking of which, let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is you can already see the display, and I'm going to switch. Hang on, I need to see what I'm doing for a moment. I'm going to switch to here, and this computer, the monitor, already has the speakers and everything built in. So if we do just a minute or two of this movie, that's the audio coming out of the monitor. So it's not the loudest, it's not fantastic, it's not like having suddenly a sound bar built in or anything, but it is entirely functional and certainly perfectly good if you want to use this for things like having a conference. In fact, let me switch around. Now I'm using a MacBook Pro, so for the cables I'm using HDMI to HDMI, and I have to use an adapter because it's USB-C, and then I'm using their USB, the sort of weird double box connection, to USB 3.0, which then I'm connecting with an adapter to my computer. So if I was to use this long-term with this computer, I would probably buy some upgraded cables that have USB-C on one end, just for simplicity. But honestly, it's not a big deal. These adapters aren't that big a deal. So that's how I have everything set up. What I want to do is I'm going to switch to actually having my webcam, and I'm going to do it all in Zoom. So I'm going to start by showing you what's on my computer's view, and then we'll switch to this one's view. So hang on a second. One of the things you can do in Zoom is you can switch between cameras and audio sources depending on what you're doing. So you can do that in settings. So I'm going to go into settings, and we'll start with video. So this is the video from the external monitor versus, if I switch over here, this is the video from my built-in webcam on my Mac. So it obviously gives you two very different perspectives, and there's a tiny, tiny light that turns on to show me that this is active. And that 5 degrees, I can move it up and down. You can see here, get it just right. And now I have this, and I can do the same with audio. So I can choose between the audio on my Mac and the audio from the actual USB device. Now, I do find the USB device isn't necessarily super loud, but all of this is easily managed. It's also worth noting that there are 5 control buttons on the lower right that make managing the menus and settings super easy. Here's a close-up so you can see the buttons. But let me show you the menu system. You click on menu, and then it's super easy. And in fact, it shows you the functions of the buttons while you're in this context. So if I want to go to something else or input select or something, all of these are easily managed. This is such a win and definitely something to know about this monitor. So the webcam's a 2 megapixel camera, and as you saw, it looks really good, particularly if you have an older PC that has a crummy webcam or no webcam. This is an easy way to upgrade, and it's built in and integrated, and when you don't want to use it, just move the slider over and you've got that covered, literally covered. So there's really a lot to like here, and it's at a pretty reasonable price point. Again, I want to emphasize that it's an HD monitor and it's pretty big. So if you're going to sit really close to it and look at really detailed, like black text on white, then you might find using that DisplayPort adapter is going to work better for you. I found HDMI works entirely reasonably, though not perfectly. It's certainly great to use it if you want to use it like a TV or something. If you want to just watch an HBO movie while you're working, or drop a conference onto here that you're doing via something like Google Hangout, then this works out absolutely perfectly. And then when you look at what people are saying and showing, then you're looking at the correct camera. So that works out pretty well. And then you could be doing something else at the same time, because let's be honest, some of those meetings are pretty boring. Anyway, so the only thing left to talk about is the price. And before I get to the price, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel. A click or a tap on that red subscribe button on the lower right, and boom, you're subscribed. Really appreciate that. So, excellent. This is the ViewSonic VG2440V HD monitor with built-in webcam, and it is $271.41 at Amazon.com, and I'd poke around on the internet. I think you could probably find it a little bit less expensive than that, but that is our reference price here. This is a great monitor. I love its flexibility. I really love the fact that it's so easy to adjust the angle, the height, the pitch, all of that. It's super adjustable, which is really great. That's all I got. I'm going to go back to Ready Player One, so I'll catch you in my next video.